You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touché and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
So, I was torn between two songs. One was The Boys Are Back in Town. Like, the boys are back in town, but I feel like that's not us. Like, us is reunited and it feels so good. It's honestly crazy to think that the last time we did this was the Jags preview game, and that was basically 3 games ago. Like, how quickly things turn, but just glad to have you back on the podcast. And I feel like in those 3 weeks, so much has happened. So much has happened that we can't even get through it all in one episode. But Charlie, you're back.
I'm back, bro. You just said a lot, man. You said a lot happened in 3 weeks. We got a lot to cover. I was writing stuff down. I was taking notes like, oh, I got to say this on the podcast. There's no way we could cover all of it. There's no way we could cover all of it. I'm back. I'm fully, recovered, like as far as health wise, but my voice isn't back 100%. For those who don't know, maybe we got some new fans and we appreciate the new listeners. For those who don't know, I'm Charlie Touché, y'all already. And I was out with pneumonia. And it's funny because last time I was sick was 6 years ago. And the last time before that was 2 years before that. So I don't get sick at all. And when I do get sick, because I have asthma, it's always like pneumonia related. So last week of London, got a little sore throat. I was just hoping it wasn't COVID. I didn't want to get stuck in London for like 2 weeks, additional weeks, and then my job say, "Oh, what's going on with you?" and you bailed on us and all this crazy stuff, and then get stuck outside of the country. A lot of things could have happened. But I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate to be back. 5 negative COVID tests later. 2 countries later, 9,500 miles later, like 21 days later, 3 losses later.
I was just thinking,
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
3 losses later.
Yo, like this is bad, bro. But before we go further, man, I want to thank Chris Adams. Shout out to Chris Adams for coming in and stepping in for me at Go Time Dolphins. I heard a lot of dope takes and good shows with you and Chris, bro. Want to thank Sherrod Steve. The man stepped away from daddy duties, came into the show, even though he didn't like my take on Xavier Howard. Okay, but he's coming around on Parker now. Now we know that we need to move on from Parker. So we're getting somewhere. There's a happy medium there somewhere. Shout out to Sherrod. No, not Sherrod, but shout out to 5 Yard Lee. I met 5 Yard Lee in London for the first time. Had no idea that you never met 5 Yard Lee in person. So that was, I wish I was just feeling a bit better so I could really chop it up with everyone. And I want to be in everybody's face because I like, man, you know what I'm saying? Got a little itchy throat. I didn't know what it was, what it could have been. And then couldn't even go out to dinner with you and everybody else. But shout out to 5 Yard Lee, man. Continues to come through for the show. Shout out to everybody who reached out while I was gone. Josh Kasker, chopping it up with Kevin Dern on Twitter. Everybody who was in my inbox. Everybody who text me. Everybody who hit me up on IG. It was a lot, man. It was. I felt loved. I felt like I don't know. I felt a lot of love, man. Last but not least, shout out to Kadeem Simmons, man. Listen, I missed my dog birthday, and I wanted to have a little happy birthday thing here on the show. I actually got a present for you, bro. And I didn't bring it to London. And I was supposed to bring it. I was supposed to bring it to London and I forgot it. And I remembered after the fact. So I'm kind of sour. But you're gonna get it. I promise you, you will get it. And you'll like it. You really like it. So happy belated birthday to my dog Kadeem Simmons, man. LL Cool K, Kadeem 12K, 12 stacks, 12,000. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to be back, man.
Yeah, it's funny. So obviously, I saw you after the Jags game, and the plan. So for those who don't know, the plan was I'd done the press conferences. Charlie was going to meet me in a place called Stratford at this like little table tennis bar, basically, and watch NFL games. So I leave the stadium, call Charlie. Okay, Charlie, I'm on my way. I'll meet you there. And Charlie's like, I'm not going to Stratford. So again, I haven't told you because we haven't spoken about it. But in my head, I was thinking, are you so angry at the loss that you can't even record? Because that's not like you. So in my head, I'm thinking, no, it's not like something doesn't make sense to me because it was an awful loss to take, but to not record. And then obviously you sent a voice note or you sent a message after saying I can't speak. And again, I'm still thinking, I don't like. Something don't feel right to me. Like it was a bad loss, but we got to speak about it. And obviously, he was leaving first thing Monday morning, but obviously, it all makes sense now. It was pneumonia, and again, it's these losses are hard to talk about, they're hard to take, but it was literally going to take an illness to stop you from getting on the podcast. Like, and I feel like also it's also kind of fitting as well for you to return today because basically the trade deadline is finished. There's some massive Dolphins news. And it's also no, but I also think before we even kind of get into that, we have to kind of like, we don't have to because we're not a Raiders podcast, but you know, I just feel like it's only right to send our condolences to the 23-year-old woman who lost her life in that horrific car crash because Henry Ruggs wants to be an idiot. And that's probably the first, or probably one of the last time that name is mentioned on this podcast because personally, his NFL career should be done like that. That's it for him.
It's unfortunate because although one life was really lost, I don't want to say two were taken away because Henry Ruggs made the decision, an ill-advised decision to drink and drive. And I'm a little more graceful. I do believe in forgiveness, but I also believe, you make your bed, you got to sleep in it.
Yeah.
And the NFL has a reputation of, letting people come back second, third, fourth, fifth chances. And I don't even know if it's really chances. It might be just looking the other way after that at that point. But there's been instances where people in the NFL have drunk and drive and taken a life and still played in the NFL 2 years later. And I would not be surprised if Henry Ruggs makes it back into the NFL and plays football again. Like, that's not far-fetched. But to what you were saying, man, it's an unfortunate situation. And, we make bad decisions. And I don't think one bad decision should hang over your head for the rest of your life. Although it took a life, it's like, man, listen, we have to learn from this. And for me and you to be here on the podcast, we can learn from his mistakes and other people's mistakes. We don't have to do what he did. It's just a very grim situation. But listen, it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Charlie Touché. I got Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. And although it took Kadeem Simmons 3 weeks to get the intro right, we're back. My dog took 3 weeks to get the intro right.
I listen to you say it. I go back and edit the podcast. I've heard you say it so many times, but it's one of those things that I just take for granted. Like trying to do the intro and outro, I'm just like, I was like, how did you do it? Like, if you ask me right now to do the outro, I couldn't do it. I can't get a verbiage right.
Bro, Kadeem, bro. Like, listen, for those who don't know, Kadeem edits, he edits the podcast, right? So we sit here and we record the podcast, and then he has to go through the edits. And mind you, we've been recording for over a year now. So we've gotten a little bit better to where the edits aren't terrible. You know, I remember Kadeem had to chop some stuff up, and I was like, you know what, Kadeem, nah, bro. They just gonna have to get the raw. You know what I'm saying? We messing up on air. We just gotta eat it. You know what I'm saying? So eventually we want to go live. So we got a little bit better. Kadeem, you know, he don't have to edit that much no more. But now that we're on video, it's kind of real. You know what I'm saying? No more, oh, let me say that over again. Nah. So for Kadeem to not know the intro and the outro, I like, what kind of shenanigans this podcast got going on, man? What is really going on over here? Yo, hey. So the tail end of the Jacksonville game, it was such a blow. It hurt so bad. And I know I'm going back 3 weeks, but for the loyal listeners, I know y'all appreciate this because y'all get to hear my vantage point of it. But when we were in London and Jacksonville lost, excuse me, I want to say there's a guy next to me. He sat next to me. And by the way, Go Time Dolphin listeners, I apologize on air to get Kadeem Simmons right now. Hey, Kadeem Simmons is that dude. Like, yo, Kadeem Simmons is a name in London. Like, he is a whole entity. The man has fans. Like, the man has his own. He is an established journalist in London. My bad, Kadeem. You know what? We might have to switch up the intro a little bit. We might have to say my esteemed colleague, Kadeem Simmons. You know what I'm saying? We might have to say what is it? Something Globe of the Year journalist Kadeem Simmons. Like, yo, people, we were meeting Dolphin fans out there, and everybody knew who Kadeem was, and Kadeem knew who they were. Like, I'm like, yo, am I missing something here? Like, do I not? Am I in the presence of royalty? You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. Kadeem is that dude in London, y'all. So we're you know, we run into people, bumping into people and everything. And I sat next to this guy, and somehow Kadeem texts me before the game starts and says, hey, bro, you got some dope seats. And I'm like, well, where are you? You know what I'm saying? And he says, oh, I'm over here. And he said, look up and da-da-da. And I look, and he's 80 yards away in like the mid, it's the first level, but the middle of the first level in the press section. And in my head, I'm like, bro, how did you see me way over here, bro? How did you even see me, Kadeem?
You were just like, I'm not just saying this. You stood out. Like, literally, I remember sitting down. I was like, yo, that's Charlie and LB. Like, it was mental. And then I think you then sent me a photo or video as well. And then from the time you did that, I was like, okay, it's definitely you, because it was so easy to tell where you were from the photo and stuff. But yeah, like you were hard to miss in that, you know, on that front row basically.
Bro, that's crazy. Cause I'm like, how did you? Cause I could barely make you out. I just seen you. You said I'm waving my hand. I just seen the hand waving. I couldn't see that it was you. You know, so I couldn't even see Lee next to you either. So I'm like, that's wild, bro. That's wild. But anyway, all right. So I'm at y'all seen the seats. We posted it by now. It's on Twitter. It's on IG. I was in the first row of the end zone. Basically, if somebody does a Lambo leap, I'm catching them. Me and LB gonna catch them, right? That was the seat. And right next to me is a guy named Tony Steele. I just met him at the game. Older gentleman. He's from England. I think he said he's from the border of England and Scotland. That accurate?
So up north, yeah.
Yeah, up north. He says right around the border. Older dude. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put a age on it, but we're gonna have him on the show. He could tell all. And we were sitting there, and remember the game was, we had control of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we're gonna win this. We're gonna get off the snide. You know what I'm saying? We're good. Tua's we're gonna dodge all the bullets until we didn't. And then my vibe was just, yo, we're going to blow this. I knew we were going to blow it. And sitting next to me was the dude that I don't even know. I didn't even say, hey, yeah, I got a Dolphin podcast. And it was like third quarter. And his vibe was just like, no, it was like, yo, we're just here to watch the inevitable. We kind of both knew what was going to happen. And he said, I asked him how long he'd been a Dolphin fan. I can't remember how long he said. It was a long time. And we'll have him on. We'll chop it up with him. I felt so terrible for this dude, man. I felt horrible for this dude. Like, this dude came from, how far is it from the border, from up north? Do you know, Kaneem?
So I was.
How far is it? How far is it from the border of Scotland, England to London?
Couldn't tell you at all. No idea.
Cool. So anyway, he came from the border, and I'm like, bro, why would you want to be a Dolphin fan? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand people who choose to be Dolphin fans. That, you know, I got it off of proximity. I could understand. Like, I was born and raised across the street from the stadium. I have no choice. You know what I'm saying? So, but people from across the pond and people from, oh yeah, this and that all over the world, Dolphin fans, I don't understand. But we're gonna have Tony still on the podcast, and we're gonna top it up with him. He's gonna tell his story. But at the end of the day, I'm on the way back to the airport now. We got to do more COVID tests. We just passed all this good stuff. Then we got to give the lady this type of information and stuff. Then they interrogate us. What were you in London for? I thought we were supposed to get that on the way in, business or pleasure, whatever. They ain't stamped no passport. It was different this time. And we take an Uber. And I'm like kind of trying to suppress my coughs. Like, I don't want it to feel awkward. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to suppress my coughs in the Uber. LB is with me. It's me and LB in the back seat and the Uber driver. And I'm down bad, bro. I can't talk. Like, I'm speaking very little. I can't complete a whole sentence. And, you know, some coughs gets out. A couple coughs get out. Whatever. I'm like, dang, the driver probably feels some type of way. Like, dang, bro, why you got on my whip coughing up the place? You know what I'm saying? And I thought he felt some type of way. I really did. I thought he felt some type of way. The vibe is not good. I'm sick. We lost. We're going back home. This is not the ending of the trip that I wanted. And we make it to the airport. And the driver gets out. And he's helping us with our bags, get out of the car. And he says, I like your hat. I had my Dolphins hat on. The teal Dolphins hat. And I say, thanks, man. Like, with no voice, like, thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And he says, I like the team. Can I have it? I'm like, you want my hat? He said, yes, can I have your hat? I like the team. I took my hat off. I gave it to the Uber driver. I said, yeah, bro, you can have it. He said, I'll keep it on the front dash. And he put on the dash. He like, I keep it on the dash. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm like, man, bro, I probably shouldn't gave him the hat to save him from the misery that he's about to go through, bro. It's like LB hit it on the head and said, nah, he is inherited the affliction of being a Dolphin fan now, bro. Like, oh, I feel bad for the Uber driver now. I'm like, yo, I don't know if you really want this smoke, bro, but you can have it. And I gave him my hat. And honestly, when I gave him the hat, I probably should have felt some pride. Like, man, yeah, man, take the hat. You're a Dolphin fan now. That's what's up. But I felt bad for a dude. I like, yo, you can have this hat, man.
like kind of like, you know what? I don't even want it no more. Like, I'm done with this team.
Straight up, bro. I like, for real. Even when packing, you know, because you're packing up your bags and everything, you know, on the way over there, you pack it real nice. You want it to be folded. You don't want it to be wrinkled when you get out. Man, I'm throwing my stuff in the bags like, man, just go, man. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I should just throw this hat in the bag too. I don't care if it gets crumbled up. You know what I'm saying? But I wore it and whatever. And I remember thinking, now I gotta sit next to all these Jaguar fans on the way back. You know what I'm saying? On the flight back and everything. And I'm gonna wear my hat, and it is what it is. And then he's like, "Can I have it?" Yeah, man, you can take this hat, bro, because now I don't have to wear it on a damn plane.
Yeah, it's just that. I remember saying at one point to Lee, I was like, I personally thought that Tua was going to throw an interception to end the game. Like, I thought we were going to lose that way. I didn't expect the Dolphin defense to just crumble the way they did. Like, the absolute ease it took the Jags to march down the field and get that field goal. Like, it was horrible, and it basically happened the week after against the Falcons. Like, it's just been a horrible 3 weeks. Season's done. Before we get into Watson stuff, I have a quick question for you.
What's up?
It's looking like the Browns are going to cut Odell. Don't know if you've seen that. Basically, Stefanski has told the team that Beckham won't be with the team for the rest of the season. He didn't practice today, and people are kind of saying that if he is released, he's probably going to clear waivers due to how big his contract is. So Odell Beckham, assuming Beckham is released and clears waivers, do you pick up Odell Beckham?
I said 2 years ago I was trading for Odell Beckham. I said it 2 years now. Bro, go get OBJ. Sherrod Steve. Nah, I don't want no divas. I don't know, Sherrod Steve. I don't think beggars could be choosers right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you want a 7, you can't be like, no, what? No, we're good.
Nah, bro. Like, we not at the point where we can start saying we don't want who we want and who we don't want as far as divas. Nah, bro. You go get OBJ. Not only do you go get OBJ, you don't even give him a chance to clear waivers. I'm taking the contract. I don't care. And I'm going to tell you why I'm taking this contract. Devontae Parker quit. Devontae Parker has checked out and is not a Miami Dolphin. He wears the uniform, he gets paid, and he cashes the Dolphins checks, but he checked out, bro. He quit. The man has the mentality of Rashad Jones. And for those of us who remember Rashad Jones, we might not know this part of Rashad Jones. Rashad Jones was a part of that culture, that toxic culture, locker room culture that Adam Gase was trying to fix. That after Adam Gase, that Chris Grier cleaned up. That Brian Flores was like, yo, we want players. We want winners. Mike Singletary voice. And Cam Wake had to go. Rashad Jones had to go. All these, your favorite Dolphin players had to go. Rashad Jones was a part of that. Rashad Jones was the person who told Xavier Howard to sit out the last 4 games of that Adam Gase season when we was about to make it to the playoffs. Oh, nah, man, this team don't care about you. Protect yourself and all this other good stuff. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's Rashad Jones. Devontae Parker remembers that. Devontae Parker is like the oldest tenured Miami Dolphin, is he not? Parker and did Parker come in the Xavier Howard draft? Is that the same draft?
I can.
It's close to it. So they're both pushing it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, look, it's time for Parker to kick rocks. No shoes on. It's time for X to go. We need to get rid of X. And nah, we can't trade X because we just gave him that bread, but we could trade him after June 1st next year. Straight up. X gotta go. Parker quit. Jakeem Grant got traded. Parker hasn't played since Jakeem Grant got traded until recently. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you wake up? Someone explained this to me. Bill, not a science guy. How do you wake up and say, "Oh, my hamstring's tight"? Come to the facility. They say, "All right, let's see what you got." Nah, I'm not even gonna test it out. I'm good. Where they do that at, bro? You quit, bro. You quit on your team when we were 1-4, I think, at the time. And you said, nah, this team's trash. We always been trash. And I'm done with the Dolphins. And I'm going to protect myself, protect my business. And I'm not going to hurt myself for this team no more. And then Parker comes back in meaningless games, looks good for a little bit, disappears. This is his MO. I got dirt on you, doggy. I know this is you, bro. You gonna make the one-handed catch when we're 1-7, when it's fourth quarter and we're down 13. You're gonna make the spectacular catch. But when we need you to catch the ball on 4th and 12 and the game is on the line, it's gonna be a drop. If you're on the field and healthy. Nah, bro, it's time to move on from Parker. So back to what you said about OBJ is you don't even let him clear waivers. Take his contract, move on from Devontae Parker in the offseason, and now you pay OBJ $4 million more than Devontae Parker, which I think he's worth it. And it's that simple.
So then you've also said a lot that what's the point in playing Parker when you got Preston Williams? Now, Preston Williams didn't even make it to Buffalo on Sunday, but he's back in training today. What do you make of the Preston Williams not playing because of disciplinary reasons?
Okay, that's life. But you get what you pay for. It is what it is. And even with Preston Williams, his contract expiring, you re-sign Preston for pennies on a dollar because hopefully no one else is going to sign him. And you just say, all right, Preston, here goes pennies on a dollar. You're going to be in Charlie Touché's perfect world. You sign OBJ. You didn't have to give up no assets for him. I highly doubt. I cannot believe the Browns will cut this dude. I don't believe it. I don't.
But okay, but like
I'm gonna be fair. I don't think the Browns cut him. I don't think they do it. I don't think they got the guts to do it. I don't think they can. But yeah, I don't think they do it. So if you're the Miami Dolphins and you happen to stumble across an OBJ like on the waivers, you didn't lose no assets. You have OBJ as wide receiver 1. You go get Emmanuel Sanders in the offseason. You have Jalen Waddle and Lynn Bowden Jr., and then you have Preston Williams. That's a revamped receiving core. Your receiving core is ready to go. You didn't lose no assets. You're paying OBJ. You got Emmanuel Sanders. You got Jalen Waddle and Lynn Bowden Jr., and now you go get 2 old linemen. You get a center and a franchise right tackle. You tell Eichenberg and Austin Jackson to fight it out at left tackle. And you put Solomon McKinley and Robert Hunt at guard. I still believe in Robert Hunt and Solomon McKinley at guard. So that's just I believe that.
So on that, Jackson said today, he's happy at left guard. He said, although I made some mistakes at tackle, I think I'm still a great tackle. Me moving to guard looks like he's a crappy tackle, but he doesn't fret about that. So that's what Jackson has said about his move to left guard. There's one more thing I wanted to say. It was more just a dumb joke. Like you can go and get, Odell, you can go and get, Emmanuel Sanders, Lynn Bowden returns, but we all know that come week 4, week 5, the receiving core can be Jalen Waddle, Matt Collins, and Isaiah Ford, because that's just what the Dolphins do. Like that's just Miami will find a way to make sure that Isaiah Ford is on that field.
Nah,
like,
bro, you got to break the mold. See, you got to break the mold too, Kadeem. Talking about, Jacksonville hasn't made a field goal. I bet you we lose by a field goal. You spoke it into existence, bro.
Okay.
You can't speak that stuff into existence.
You know what? So after the game, and I was walking back with Lee, I said to Lee, I was like, I did say during the week that we're probably going to lose to Jacksonville due to a field goal. So I was like, this one's on me. Like, I would take the O in that one. Yeah. I think obviously where you've been away, I've kind of stepped into the hosting duties. And like, you're getting back, it will give me like a few episodes to kind of get back to what we know. But I think it's only right that I give you your flowers, send it on social media, as it LB. But if there'd been one person from, as he put it, A1, was it A1 to day one?
A1 from day one.
A1 from day one. Mr. Charlie Touché said, Mr. Go Time himself basically said, Watson will not be a Miami Dolphin. And come the trade deadline, Deshaun Watson is still in Houston. Now, have you seen the Chris Grier press conference from today?
I've seen clips.
I was chatting to Chris offline off air. I was kind of saying how it was interesting, or I found it interesting how he basically confirmed what everyone knew, that the Dolphins looked into Watson. And again, I said to Chris, I was like, Grier will be a bad GM if he didn't at least look into it. You know, a player the player Watson quality, you have to at least do a background check. You have to at least have a look. I'm a Tua stan. I've said stick with Tua, but I can understand as a GM, you've got to do your homework. You've got to look at Watson. For those who haven't seen it, Chris Grier basically refuted all claims that the Dolphins tried to get the 22 women who have made allegations against Watson, that the Dolphins have never spoken to them, never tried to get them to sign anything to say basically, let Watson off the hook or anything like that. Chris Grier seemed very angry about that. And he said that, that the Dolphins done the due diligence on Watson, but there was never going to be a trade. Like, it wasn't going to happen. What do you make of that? Because that's like the first bit of instance of someone inside the Dolphins organization, outside of Brian Flores, saying, Tua's my quarterback, saying no trade for Watson.
Which Flores had to say. Flores, it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Charlie Touché. We appreciate everybody rocking with us. Share, like, subscribe. Shout out to everybody who's still hanging around. Go Time Dolphins, the loyal listeners, the new listeners. Thank you to Chris Adams. Thank you to Sherrod Steve. Thank you to 5R Lee. Salute to my dog, Kadeem Simmons. Excuse me. Deshaun Watson is not coming to the Miami Dolphins, and he would never play it down again in Houston, is what I said. And he's either going to Philly or Carolina. If you want all the sauce, that's what I said for over a year now. Over a year now, I said the same thing. Dolphins Twitter, Dolphins fan base is terrible. We're horrible. You know what? Let's do this right now. We're going to do this right now. I think all of us out there have a friend or a family member or just a loved one that we've had to have some tough conversations with in our lives before. If you haven't, I don't know if you're really that much of a friend or you're just that fortunate that you never had to have a tough conversation with a loved one. Fortunately and unfortunately, I've had to have some very tough conversations with loved ones, whether it be a friend, a family member, a girlfriend, potential spouse. These conversations are not like easy. It's like, look, this is going to be tough. And I'm going to have a conversation with the Miami Dolphin fans right now. This is going to be a tough conversation to have. But we're going to have it on this family-oriented Go Time Dolphins podcast because that's what we do, because we're a family and it comes from a place of love. So just because I tell Chris Grier you missed on picks doesn't mean I hate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? It just means you got to get it right for the sake of the family. Fredo? I know Kadeem Simmons didn't catch that, but it's all right. We back. Who is Fredo? All right. Very good, Junior Grasshopper. Very good, Junior Grasshopper. Listen. Miami Dolphin fans, I'm going to tell you this, and it's coming from a place of love. But our franchise is a circus. It's a joke. The Miami Dolphins are a joke. And the first step in getting it right and on the road to recovery is admitting it. And we're a joke. We're trash. We're garbage. We're a circus. I don't want us to be trash. I don't want us to suck again. I don't want us to be a circus. Yo, we have a podcast now, Kadeem, where before we could just, you know what? I'm done with the Dolphins this year. I'm checking out. I'll watch the games, but I will not be invested in the games. You can't do that when you got a podcast. You can't. It's a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I have to endure this now. So listen, Dolphin fans, I'm going to tell you something. Remember when I told Kadeem Simmons, or when Kadeem, we have mentioned that I never wavered when the Dolphins were going to pick Tua at 5. Never wavered. Not even a little. Kadeem, did I waver a little bit?
Not at all.
Not even a little bit. Tua's the pick at 5. Oh, got to get ready for work. My alarm's going off. Tua's the pick at 5. We're not trading up to get him. He's going to fall to us at 5. We're going to stand put and we're going to take Tua. Kadeem Simmons sweating bullets in London. Like, I don't know. I think we're going to get it wrong. I'm like, Kadeem, vibe. We're good. Just vibe. We took Tua at 5. Another thing that I was sure about was he wasn't going to wear 13. He's not wearing 13. And the last thing I was 100% sure about was we were going to trade 18 and the first pick of the first round. Third pick of the first round. And we're going to trade up to get a tackle. But we didn't do that. And I was disappointed because we should have. But I never wavered. Not even a little bit. Deshaun Watson rumors running rampant. Never wavered. Feet to the fire. He's not coming here, bro. Vibe. Relax, people. Y'all not helping. Well, you're not helping. You know what I'm saying? All this Houston-based media stuff. Like, yo, you would want Chris Grier to at least pick up the phone. Hey, what we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? What if Houston says, and I want to be clear. I believe Tua Tagovailoa should be the Miami Dolphins quarterback for the foreseeable future until he blows it. If he blows it, yo, I'm not riding with Tua like, yo, we were wrong. But he didn't blow it yet. None of this is not even close to Tua's fault yet. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is you build around this quarterback in his rookie contract, i.e. Russell Wilson made $800,000. $800,000 when he won the first Super Bowl. Did you know that? Like $800,000 is what he made on that Super Bowl that year because the defense had like $65 million invested into it. It's his rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, obviously there's endorsements and all other good stuff, but you know what I'm saying? That was his salary. Like, yo, like build around your quarterback during the rookie contract. Don't pivot now. You did the Ryan Tannehill experiment. You did all this other, let me go try to plug and play people right now and get to the playoffs. And, you know, once you get to, you chose to go rookie quarterback. Build around his rookie quarterback. At the least, what's going to happen is you're going to build a team now that's in win now mode with this rookie quarterback. If he ends up stinking up the joint, you still have a team in place to where you could just pluck him and put a real quarterback in there if he blows it. You haven't even done that yet. Your team is not even in a place where we're winning yet. So you can't do that. Straight, shut up. So you can't do that right now. So, and I forgot where I was going with this, but I'll say it like this. Excuse me. I didn't waver. Not wavering on Watson either. So now you're going to have Watson. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have Russell Wilson. All these talks. You done messed it up with your quarterback now. But something else I'm not wavering on, Dolphin fans. I'm not wavering. And we're going to be straight. Want to know why, Kadeem?
Why is that?
I didn't waver on the Deshaun Watson trade rumors. I didn't waver on Tua going 5th overall. Stood in the paint. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. I said Tua was going to bring a championship to Miami by 2024, bro, during his rookie contract. I'm still standing with that. Like, yo, if he's our quarterback, he's going to bring the ship. I believe it because he has the talent to do it. All you have to do, and shout out to Kevin Dern, our boy, by the way, Kevin Dern. Don't ever get it misconstrued that Go Time Dolphins and Kevin Dern ain't cool. Y'all don't ever get that misconstrued. Kevin Dern going to come on to the show. We're going to chop it up with Kevin Dern. But although Kevin Dern said, and you know we'll let him defend himself on the show, although he said it's going to take too much to build around Tua, which I disagree. Yo, can we just give him a line? Can we just do that? If we could just give him a line, I bet you we'll see something else right now. You know what I'm saying? Look at Herbert. What's Herbert doing right now? But we'll get to that. It's Go Time Dolphins. No, we'll get to that. We'll get it. You see what I'm saying? So look, yeah, all the pick Herbert. No, yeah, pick Herbert. So you know what I'm saying? Look, listen, give the man a line. You know what I'm saying? What happened to this defense that was third best defense in the league last year? You're 31st right now.
The bunts.
You got the 31st ranked defense in the league right now. Can he get a defense? Can he get a defense? Got to get ready for work. Alarm going off. Right. We sliding on the podcast. I forgot I had to work today. Listen, but look, man, I believe in Tua. Tua's going to take us to the promised land if we don't off his head first. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy that this is the best quarterback we've had since Dan Marino, and we're just like, take him to the guillotine. We don't want him no more. My bad, Kadeem. What do you think about all this, all the hoopla? What's going on?
It's that win now, have no patience culture. I said it must have been to 5 Yard Lee. It might have been 2. I've had so many conversations over the past few days with different Dolphins fans, but it's like from now to the end of the season, Tua could not throw a single interception. Win the rest of the games this season. Dolphins fans will still sit here and tell you he's not the answer. Go and get Watson or someone else. It's just like, it's the guy can't win. Listen, Dolphins fans, relax, chuck on some Cannibal Corpse and just chill out. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean?
So much to discuss. And this is like a to be continued, because I know everybody knows we have so much we want to talk about. Follow us to Bonus Time. We got more. Just know the next few episodes of Go Time Dolphins is going to go down. All the way down. Charlie Touché, Kadeem Simmons. Hey, look. Although my co-host couldn't get the outro right, y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touché. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Or as I would say, I safe.
I seen that. I safe.
I just chucked in an Ace Ventura reference, and it just like completely went over your head.
Bro, I didn't hear it. What did you say?
I told Dolphins fans to relax and chuck on some Cannibal Corpse, like just
what?
Cannibal Corpse, the band in Ace Ventura.
That's the name. That's their band.
Yeah, but it's fine.
I didn't know that was the name of the band.
It's cool. All good. Another question for you. I know you like short with time with work and stuff like that. Chris Grier was asked whether it was a mistake that the Dolphins took Tua over Herbert, and Grier's response was, "I don't know. You tell me." Now, I haven't seen how he said it. I've only read what he said, and it's unfair to fully have a go at him if I haven't heard the context. With that being said, what do you make of what he said?
Yeah, I think he said, "I don't know. I'll let you be the judge." So we'll wait. We'll wait for the video, because I seen some of the clips of the actual press conference, but then I read a lot of it. So I want to see all of it before I pass judgment on it. But Chris Dredd, he dropped the ball, bro. Brian Flores dropped the ball. Stephen Ross dropped the ball. I've never been in a place in my life where I was like, you know what? Let's talk about this. Patrick Graham, defensive coordinator, left to go to the Giants. Kyle Van Noy was sour when he had it, like, yo, damn, you gonna cut me like that fast? You know what I'm saying? Minka Fitzpatrick, get me out of here. Dare I say, invoke the name Nick Saban, I'm gone. Can I blame any of them right now? Like, it's like I'm not even mad at none of them right now.
You know, as a journalist myself, like, to me, that question to Chris Grier was like a walk-in touchdown. It was like, this is the perfect opportunity to just say, and again, this is what fans want to hear. But he easily could have said, "We believe in the decision we made. We believe, we went through the process. We believe Tua was the right fit for us. Something along those lines." Because let's be honest, when you read the quote in writing, no one cares about the context. Like the context is gone. It's just gonna say, "I don't know, you've been judged," or whatever it was. So just that one line, "We got this decision right," makes a massive difference. He didn't say it. It is what it is. But I also understand that until you kind of hear what he says, who knows? I was gonna make another point. It's completely slipped my mind right now. What did you ask me again?
No, I'll say this about Grier though.
Oh, no, very quickly. So you said you can't blame Saban, Minka, all them guys for saying get me out of here. I would not be surprised if not so much Gesicki. I wouldn't be surprised if Gesicki says I ain't staying. Get me out of here. But if when it comes to resign Tua and Waddle, they both just go, I ain't doing this. Tua's like, I had to put up with you guys my first 2 years, who you refused to back me. Why am I staying here for? I don't care if I just won you a ring. Like, I'm not doing this. And if Waddle turns around and says, look what you done to my boy. Like, you had me catching these 10-yard digs and stuff like that. I'm better than that. I'm going elsewhere where I can be fully appreciated. So yeah, I would not be surprised if Tua and Waddle just say, nah, Miami, thank you very much for drafting me.
Bro,
I'm done.
There's a stat where Waddle's average yards per touchdown was like 40. It was the dumbest stat in the history of sports. Like, yo, your average yardage per touchdown is 40. That's unheard of. Came to the NFL. Now his average catch yards per air is like 4. Like, help me understand that. You know what I'm saying? Mike Gesicki says, first of all, we need to re-sign Mike. We need to throw in the bag.
100.
We got to give Mike Gesicki a blank check and say just fill it in for us, and then you're going to be a Dolphin for life. You have to. Man, it's so much I want to say, bro. We don't have time for it, but how about this? We'll go here. There's so many analogies we could come up with, and as Go Time Dolphins, we liken this to like a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And the Dolphins cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't catch you in the act of cheating, but you cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you explain this to Tua? You feel me? You got a quarterback that you don't want. Whose idea was it to take Tua at 5? I need to know. Was it Flores? Was it Grier? Was it Ross? Who said Tua's the guy? Go get him. Who stood on the table for Tua? I want to know who stood on the table for Tua. I really do. Because it doesn't seem like no one's standing on the table for him now. And if it was the GM, I can't believe it was Chris Grier that stood on the table for Tua. I can't believe it now. Because it's like, you would have probably wanted to protect that pick. If this was your pick, you would have been like, I'm going to make sure he's successful. Let me protect him. I don't believe it was Chris Grier. I don't believe it was Flores. I always thought it was Stephen Ross. I always thought Ross said, hey, we're going him, regardless of what y'all think. Flores probably wanted Isaiah Simmons. Straight up.
Yeah.
I wanted Isaiah Simmons too, but not more than Tua, obviously. So we liken this to a relationship with a chick. And for those of us who have experience in the dating realm, things happen. Somebody might cheat on somebody from time to time, or once in a while, or once in a you probably had the experience of, oh, were you talking to somebody else? Oh, were you cheating? Something happened. I'm gonna tell you like this: the Dolphins cheated on Tua.
100%.
Not only did they cheat on Tua, now Tua's thinking, wait a minute, what about that one time? You know what I'm saying? What about that one time when I didn't think nothing of it? I didn't think anything of it, but now looking at all your actions now, it made me think, well, what about that time and that time and the time you came in late and you said you got a flat tire? Like all those times now, you got to think, was you cheating before? When we had a playoff team and Ryan Fitzpatrick could have took us to the playoffs and someone said, throw Tua in the fire right now. And the whole world, the sports world knew it was not time for Tua to come in yet. Let's look there. Like, what was that about? Like, whose idea was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, now if you look at today's actions, let's compare that to those actions back then. Like, whose idea was that? You know what I'm saying? It's a circus. It's a clown show, bro. It's a clown show. So, okay, cool. Let's go to pulling Tua and inserting them back in the building. Or inserting them back in the lineup. Pulling them, inserting them. Pull them, inserting them. What's going on here, man? What's really going on here? Did we actually give this dude a chance or not? Are we actually going to give him a chance or not? Because he was a rookie before when we was doing that. That's how you treat your rookies. That's how you treat your franchise. Supposed to be, I'm supposed to be your franchise player. That's how you treat your franchise quarterback. So now I can't believe Tua was Flores' pick, and I don't think he was Grier's pick either. And it's crazy how we treating this dude. So I'll end on this though. We can have a whole episode on this. Teams called for Devontae Parker and we didn't give it to him. I don't know how you do that. Like, who in their right mind said, nah, we're going to hold on to Devontae Parker because we could win now at 1-7. We're supposed to be winning. So I'm going to keep Parker.
Listen, just the math ain't mathing. The way the team is being built this season makes no sense. And I semi-get it. You know, if you believe Parker is a franchise piece, of the team, well, you don't give him up this season because you're going to make a run next season. But at the same time, but at the same time, it's like Parker isn't 24, 25. Like, you know, we were talking in the offseason, send Parker to the Bengals as a replacement for AJ Green, get a second for him, and then reload. They didn't do that. And with each passing day, with each passing week, his value is deteriorating. So, you know,
you're not getting us. You need that 2 years ago. You could have got that second for Parker. You can't get that for Parker no more.
Of course, no.
You might get a fourth for Parker now. All right, I'll take my fourth and keep it moving.
Yeah,
I'll happily take my fourth that we're going to miss on, by the way, because we can't pick players right. But I'll take my fourth and keep it moving.
I don't know. Like, fourth round isn't too bad because we got Kinley in the fourth, so I just kind of think we might just, you know, it's like those late first round picks that we can't.
Yeah, we picked good late actually because we got Kinley, we got Godchild, Myles Gaskin. We do well back there actually.
Yeah,
but hey, y'all hang around. Charlie Touché, Kadeem Simmons, we back. The team is back together. Tag team back again. The boys are back in town, reunited, and it feels so good. Just the two of us. Whatever cliche song you got, that's what we are. Hey, and we'll leave you with this. Kadeem Simmons beat me in fantasy football this week somehow. I don't know how that's how I know I'm down bad.
I hadn't even checked.
That's how I know I'm down bad.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. We out of here.